everyone, and welcome to another Top 10 Tuesday. I'm your host, the Lady Comedian. Our Top 10 this week will revolve around my Top 10 Most Wanted third-party characters to join Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Like last week, these characters aren't really influenced by their likelihood to join Smash in the current Fighter Pass. They are just the characters I would personally like to play the most that don't, at the time, reside on the roster. This should be a fun list since I'm not into the most popular picks that float around speculations at the moment. Starting with a lot of Smash fans out there are ready for another fighter from the Sonic series, and I am one of them. And one of the Sega All-Stars that I would love to see are the Bonanza Brothers. They're not what you would call the most popular characters when it comes to Smash speculation, but the ones I know as Mike and Spike I've had more fun with than I can put into words. I didn't discover their game until I was a bit older, so they don't tickle my nostalgias as well as a few others on this list. And even their moveset would be a bit silly from what I can imagine. But they still managed to burglarize my heart and sneak into the 10th slot. In a few of my videos, you may remember me mentioning that I love the Pokemon Switch mechanic. Well, there are some other Mons I'd like to see do some switching of their own. But they do it a bit differently. You guessed it, the Monster Rancher. I'll be totally honest, as far as Monster Rancher video games go, I've only played one of them, and it was a card game version. These guys basically got a slot mostly based on the anime, which I think is okay because, like many, my love of the Pokemon series started the same way. Don't get me wrong, I played the mess out of that video game, and I even plan to revisit it sometime in the future. But I like the personality of the characters in the show, and that's why I got into the game as a kid. Playing through the game, I grew more attached to monsters like Naga and Pixie, whilst my brother got into Tiger, Dragon, sometimes Dino and Golem. I also couldn't get enough of Gally's English dub voice whilst reviewing the anime as an adult. He just has to have the Galley finale as one of his moves, if not his final smash. So in my Dream Smash, my brother and I would each receive our own teams that we could tag in and out through with Down Special, whilst two walked on the sidelines as if Pokemon trainer. Though Tiger and Hare being on the same team would be pretty awesome. I don't know if I could pass it up. Talking junk to each other as they take damage be hilarious. If I were to try to show some semblance of realism, if a Monster Rancher did somehow manage to get a character, I'm sure Mochi, Suezo, and or Tiger would be the ones they prioritize. From what I hear, a lot of you are really wanting one last Microsoft character to join the fight. Well, I'm with you 100%. Give it up for our number 8 pick, Conker. It's time for Smash to have a bad day. I'm not going to get too into this character because this channel is for good boys and girls. But I did want to say Conker was my favorite character to play in Diddy Kong Racing, and I haven't lost a lick of my love for this guy, even with his drastic change in personality. I would have a lot of fun with his unique style in his repertoire. And I would totally be psyched to try it out one day. We haven't really got us a great shooter rep yet, and if I were to be totally biased in who gets the invitation, it would be Diva. Hanasong and her mech would make a pretty awesome character in my eyes. Obviously, if a character made it in from Overwatch, it would probably be Tracer, which would be cool too, but I'm just personally more attached to Diva. I would very much enjoy her obvious two-part moveset that would have her shed her tanky and powerful mech playstyle after it took too much damage for a quick and nimble keep-away style until she could call in another one. Sort of a reverse Arsene gimmick, but with a character I actually like. Don't worry guys, eventually I'll get around to doing some moveset showcases, and maybe these characters will actually look as awesome as they do in my head. I can hear you typing away in the comment section already. Disney and Nintendo would never partner up for this. And to that I say ha! And well, no, they won't. But let's be real here, there's nothing on this list that's real here. It's all about what I think would be the most fun for me to see and play. You thought characters before broke the internet upon reveal. Steve nor Sephiroth can hold a candle to this guy. That's right, my friends, old Hand-Hams himself. Yep, roast me all you want, all dear viewer, but I think WreckIt Ralph would make a fine addition to the roster. He's another heavy, which the game is lacking. He's a villain, technically speaking, and he's one of the only ones of which I could imagine fitting into Smash without their corresponding hero fighter. I know he's famous for being an animated movie character, but technically his game was released first. He had a game based on the movie, as well as Fix-It Felix Jr. was playable on the Disney website, and was also produced in full arcade cabinets and downloadable on smart devices. His movie is also about video games, so that's what he's synonymous with. And no, we don't count the second one. I'm not really here to argue if he could or should be considered eligible for Smash Brothers, because I would quickly concede in that fight right away. I'm just here because I adore the character and I think he would be as fun as heck. And you're just scared I'd wreck you with him. Let's just keep the controversial train rolling with who is basically the face of video game controversy. That's right, my friends, Scorpion. As I've made known, I was always opposed to fighting game characters joining Smash. But one, I've grown up a bit, and B, it's not fair, I want my favorite. Seeing Ryu, Terry, and Ken get adopted into Smash has slowly grown from a disappointment to a craving. Mortal Kombat was the classic fighter I grew up with, and I actually followed it into adulthood. And what better way to celebrate that maturity than to turn my opponent into babies? Whether he'd be using a babality, a brutality, or as Slackers Gamer calls it, a smashality. I want Scorpion to have his chance. He's been my favorite reoccurring character in the franchise, and I'd love to play as him in my favorite game. In a perfect world, we would get Sub-Zero as well, but I'd take him either way. Midway as Echoes. Another classic character I wasn't introduced to until a little later in life, but easily took over as my favorite NES title. A bubble blast from the past, Bub. Not the only dragon I want to see join the roster, but definitely the one I want to play the most. I can listen to his classic theme for hours and play back to back to back to back playthroughs of his addictive game. His moveset potential is through the roof. His style fits seamlessly into Smash, catching enemies in bubbles and jumping on top of them. I get so excited just thinking about it. Who knows, maybe this choice actually has some sort of possibility attached to it. When I saw Taito in the credits for World of Life, It gave me a glimmer of hope, and we'll just have to see. Sephiroth came as a genuine and welcome surprise for me. I felt like I got the experience I wanted with Cloud, and the trailer was just perfect. But you know us Smash fans, we're never satisfied. And there was a different character I was wanting to see if they were to ever revisit that particular universe. Tifa is my girl, and I love her. And I'd really like to play as her in Smash. My playthrough of Final Fantasy VII in high school came at a rough time in my life, and the game just means a lot to me. I don't want to get too mushy, but it's one of my favorite games, and Tifa is really special to me. She would make a very interesting fighter as well. I'm pretty content with her as a Mii costume, and seeing her at all in the Hall of Games we call Smash Ultimate. But if they were to take her to the next level, I'd be overjoyed. Believe it or not, I was actually serious about wanting a Sonic character. And I'm not gonna even pretend it's anyone else but my boy, Tails. Sonic 2 is my favorite game of all time, dating back to my early childhood where me and my older brother would foil Dr. Robotnik's plans time and time again. He might not remember it quite as fondly as I do, seeing on occasion I would play jokes like stealing his air bubbles on water levels, as well as timing my hits in the boss battles to where he'd get himself hurt. Hey, I was a little brother. It's my job. At least I'd help him back to the stage with Tails' up B command grab that's just too perfect for the game. As long as he's not too low, otherwise Tails will tuck her out. I, to this day, feel like Sonic had something special in the co-op experience, giving something helpful for the less experienced players to do while being a key advantage for veteran players. To bring that to a game that thrives on being easy to pick up and difficult to master, I couldn't see a more perfect pick. Well, except for one. It's come to this, our final character. Get used to seeing this guy, folks, because I've been the biggest advocate for his Smash inclusion for over 2 decades. And despite the naysaying here and there, as well as the fan rules and circumstances stacked against him, he will always be my most wanted fighter. And I'll never lose hope that he'll one day join the roster. He is the biggest gaming icon not playable in Smash. The only one thought by some legendary enough to stand alongside the likes of Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, and Pac-Man in the days of Wii U and 3DS Smash speculation. Ladies and gents, the Master Blaster of Disaster himself, Bomberman! If you know me personally, you're aware I'm not exactly a materialistic person, and there's nothing I wouldn't give to someone in true need. But if I could have that one thing in the world of the materialistic variety, it would be Bomberman. I have the most amazing family and friends ever, so there's nothing I can really complain about, truly. But if I could have one thing, if, world peace and the cure for cancer and other devastating circumstances wasn't on the table, I'd want to play as the White Bomber in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. And no, I don't mean pretend to play as him with a Mii costume. I would want his true potential seized in a full-blown fighter. It's been my dream since the first time I saw Smash 64's commercial. From the time Mario tripped Yoshi and the record skipped, the concept of Wario and Bomberman, who is not a stranger of suiting up for the same style commercials, might I add, getting to go at it was stuck in my brain. I had recently beaten Wario Blast, using my boy White, and was an innocent young ignoramus that thought Bomberman was just one of the Nintendo game. After he starred in 364 titles, appeared in the aforementioned crossover, and I had only seen him in Nintendo consoles up until that point. So I was actually surprised he wasn't in the OG Smash, and befuddled when he was missing in action upon unlocking the last fighter in Melee. In fact, I was actually quite upset he hadn't shown up in Mario Kart or the Mario Party games. The latter of which was kind of ironic because his parent company, Hudson, developed most of them. By the time the Wii had arrived, though, I had kind of learned of the character's materiality side of things and was aware he wasn't owned by the Big N. So my dreams were but a fool's. But then something amazing happened. Snake joined the brawl. This meant it wasn't impossible. This meant the great Nintendo crossover could one day become the greatest gaming crossover of all time. And look how close we are today. I won't get too into the politics of why or why not this character should be added to Smash Brothers here. This video would just get way too long, and I've got another day dedicated to just that. I'll just say, in my opinion, there's a Bomberman shaped hole in the roster, and it sadly keeps it from being the ultimate Super Smash Brothers. And that'll do it. What do you think of the characters on my list? Do you hate them? Do you love them? Hey, did you meet a new character you never thought of before? Let me know in the comments below. Tell me characters you'd love to see on the roster. Or, if you have an idea for a future top 10, feel free to share. Thank you all for tuning in, and until next time, bye.